Hey, welcome everyone on my behalf. My name is Pekka Horo and I'm really happy to be hosting you today with IDC for this event. We have lots of partners here in the room, so thank you also for joining and coming, and customers and all interested parties. I decided that we would do the speeches in English just to make sure that we can accommodate our international guests, so I hope that's okay with all of you. As was mentioned, we're really looking forward to a collaborative event with lots of dialogue and discussion here in the room, but also in Twitter. So make sure that you're active in social media, and really looking forward to a day of lots of discussion and collaboration. The open source agenda and topic is extremely important to Microsoft. Many of you know the history that Microsoft has had within the open source community. I'm sure there's lots of interesting viewpoints and stories of what's happened in the past, but I think over the last couple of years we have really stepped up our interest and activity, and hopefully that's visible to all of you as well. Earlier this year, our CEO Satya Nadella claimed and stated that Microsoft loves Linux. We've had a lot of activity in basing our .NET activities in open source. And we've formed very strong partnerships with Docker and Red Hat, to name a few. I think the purpose, obviously, is that we as Microsoft see open source as the key to a stronger evolution of digital transformation. We strongly believe that we can serve our customers and partners better by very actively participating in the open source community and the activities, and it is really crucial and a central part of our own strategy as well. And I think an interesting metric that ZDNet published in September of this year was that Microsoft is now the most active contributor in GitHub, with over 16,000 individual and active contributors. So there's a lot of activity, not only the positive public statements around loving Linux and the partnerships with Docker and Red Hat, but really the activity that Microsoft is doing for the open source community. I think it starts to be quite tremendous if you look at those data points. And as I said, we put an exponential curve here because we see that the partnerships, the activities with all of you who are active players in the open source community, as well as serving our customers and partners. More and more, we're seeing a world where the digital transformation is happening based on multiple platforms, utilizing open source, as well as licensed technologies. But it has to be an interplay of all of these elements. That's where we basically structure our own activities in open source to these four different areas. First of all, which is very crucial to many of our customers and partners, is that we want to ensure that we enable the investments and the applications that have been built in open source so that they can run on Azure and utilize the Microsoft technologies. So that's usually the first step, that we want to make sure that we are contributing to their business and their existing operations. Secondly, we want to ensure that we as Microsoft can integrate our technologies, licensed technologies, with open source seamlessly, so that the new development of applications can happen utilizing the best of both worlds. Furthermore, Microsoft is very actively releasing content to the open source community. You may have seen that our .NET core is now based on open source, which has been a major development in this area. And then finally, we obviously want to participate and contribute and develop the evolution of technology with the open source community and partners very actively. And hopefully that's visible to you as well. As mentioned, this is central to our success with our customers and partners. And Microsoft doesn't see a future other than obviously being an active contributor in the open source community as well. I think there's lots of great case studies that have started to emerge. I'm proud of the work that we're doing with PayIQ. Our friends in PayIQ are going to talk later. But this is a great example of a fantastic Finnish startup. I don't know if startup is the right word because they're already very established in many markets. But a company developing, utilizing Azure as well as the open source technologies to build intelligent payment systems that are being used in Oulu, Jyväskylä, Turku, and a number of other cities in Finland, I've heard, and also very actively expanding globally. And in the future, most of the business will come from global customers and cases. The idea behind the PayIQ solution is that it utilizes the best of both worlds from open source as well as Microsoft technologies using Azure. It can run on any mobile operating system, whether it's Android, iOS, or Windows Phone. It uses certificates and various elements which are extremely well documented in Azure to support the privacy and data protection of the users. I think this is a great example of the types of collaboration we're doing, not only with big corporations of the world to make sure that our products and applications can run seamlessly, but also supporting innovative new ways to serve consumers and customers with mobile payment technologies. But I'll let our friends from PayIQ talk more about their business later on. I'll conclude my opening by just recapping what Microsoft's vision in the cloud is. As mentioned, open source and working seamlessly with different ecosystems is the strategy we see for the future. We want to ensure that we can not only offer a hyperscale cloud, and by hyperscale, I can give you a couple of examples. So Microsoft Azure, Outlook, Bing, Xbox Live, a number of services that many people know is operating or is serving over 1 billion consumers and customers around the world. We have 20 million companies utilizing the Microsoft Cloud technologies, and we want to ensure that those products and services and applications can be supported, not only for the Microsoft technologies, but also innovation that's being developed by the open source community. So hyperscale is definitely the strategy that we're believing is serving our customers in the best way. Secondly, I would like to highlight that we're very much focused on ensuring that we can operate in different environments, whether it's a private cloud, a public cloud, or a hybrid. And we want to ensure that different tools and offerings, such as SharePoint Search or Active Directory, work in the same way with the same user interface across the different environments. And this will offer our customers a seamless way and an easier way to access their data and to expand their business. Finally, I want to reiterate that for us, it's imperative, and we want to ensure that we can operate the customers' solutions and help our customers and partners on any OS, on any device, on any cloud, so that we can build a brighter future utilizing the best of innovation, not only from Microsoft, but from our partners and the open source community by large. And really the intention of today is to get your input and ideas on how we could be even a better partner to all of you and your business, and what is the current sentiment that you have towards Microsoft as a partner in the open source community. And for us, we see a bright future together. And as I mentioned in the first slide, we are really betting and focusing heavily on being an even stronger contributor in the open source community, and that's why we really welcome the partnership with all of you and look forward to the good discussion today. Those would be my opening comments. I wanted to just check if there's any comments or questions from the audience before we move into Anders' presentation from IDC. So let me know if there's anything here now or yes.
My name is Pentti Paalo. I'm from Vexma. We are cooperating in Azure Cloud with Microsoft. We have a health app working in HUS, working in Azure. Mm-hmm. So my question is, what other applications or fields you have in healthcare in Finland?
So there's lots of different discussions. We see healthcare in Finland as one of the leading in the world. Microsoft has just recently invested additional resources here to Finland to build our healthcare scenarios, whether it's ranging from virtual home care or biobank activities, or serving our customers in novel ways in machine learning and analytics. So I think it's a broad range of areas that we're collaborating and looking into, and we really welcome partnership from companies like yours to see how we can expand the leading innovation that's being developed in Finland. And the reason Microsoft is so interested in the Finnish healthcare is that on the one hand, the market is very advanced. We're really using world-leading technologies. The size of the market is, while it's large, but we have big, let's say, players like the hospital systems who are very advanced in the way they use technology and want to deploy it. And then I would say thirdly, I think it's an environment that very much encourages startups and different players to come together to develop the innovation further. So very interested in continuing the discussion and work, and also happy to see that we have a lot of interest from Microsoft globally to cultivate the work that's been done so far. And at least personally, I see the healthcare area as one of the biggest growth areas for Finland, but also for the technology and open source community to develop assets and technologies on top of that. Great, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot.